Here we go, guys. Just starting chat off real quick. Coming in live from Kabul, Afghanistan. Got the number 936-647. Well, I guess give the number out right now. No one's on yet. We will start the live chat when everything gets rolling here. This is one of my first live chats where I'm expecting a few people, so I will hold off until the live chat starts. It's kind of odd for me doing it here during the middle of the day there for you guys. I know it's lunchtime. It's probably the worst time to do it. Everyone's busy during lunch. So if this doesn't kick off and it doesn't take off well, I will cancel the video and reschedule. And we'll come in later. But for now, wow. Crickets. Oh, we got someone. What's up, guys? How we doing? Cowboy Crunk, live from Afghanistan. World Cup just finished. So we are here waiting for the guys to load in. What's up, D. Will? Hey, that he has the potential. What's up, D. Will? Yeah, Jeff Heath. I agree. I like the guy as well. He is a playmaker. I hadn't really thought about that. I actually have about 4 Cowboy jerseys, and Bill Bates is one of them. I'm an old school guy. Not sure how old you are, brother, but I watched Bill Bates back when I was in my young teens, and big time playmaker, especially on special teams. You guys can see on the background, that's AFN, Armed Forces Network, which is a military channel. So anything you want to discuss there, D. Will? Like I said, I'm new to this. I appreciate you chiming in. It's your second time. Great to see you, bro. Where are you from? Where you at? I want to discuss mainly my thing that I want to discuss. I'll go ahead and talk about it since this video may just end up being a replay. Is who's going to be our playmaker? To me, Ezekiel Elliott, this guy, the freak, is really all we've got. He's the only player that's had consistently, plays over 15, 20 yards. So as for now, Ezekiel Elliott looks like he's going to be our playmaker. All of our tight ends are fresh and new. They're not proven. We have 9 catches between all 4 tight ends, a total of 94 yards on all 4 of those guys. So we'll see what happens. As far as the receivers, they wanted to make the offense. They wanted to make the offense Dak friendly. I think it's basically quarterback friendly. As you guys know, I posted a video the other day. I think we have the potential to trade one of the backup quarterbacks. It's going to put us in a good position. We, like I said in my last video, we have Cooper Rush. We drafted Mike White. Last year, the quarterback scenario was we had Dak Prescott. We also had Kellen Moore. They moved him to quarterback coach so that we could only carry 2, so that we would only carry 2 quarterbacks on the roster. So that moved Cooper Rush up, who played really well in the preseason. So if last year they were so intent on if they're so intent on content with the 2 quarterbacks, why did they draft Mike White? So I think we have a good situation here with 3 quarterbacks. We play the 3 of them in the preseason, and right before the season starts, you always have a quarterback need somewhere. David Irving, I like him more than most. I think he needs to get it together. He has the potential to really, really help this team, man. 7 games, 8 games last year, 8 sacks. That's a sack a game. True. Yeah, Mike White has a big arm. Yeah, you were on my last video. I recall now, D. Will. Mike Mike White has a big arm. Cooper Rush looked great. He had 6 touchdowns, almost 600 yards, and no interceptions in his 2 playoff games. Or not playoff games, his 2 preseason games, excuse me. Dude definitely hadn't been in the playoffs. We haven't had very many quarterbacks be in the playoffs in the last 20 years. So, but he did play well in preseason. So it really makes me wonder why they drafted Mike White. And like I told you before, the situation in New England, they had 2 quarterbacks that were playing well. Garoppolo came out, played well. Tom Brady came back from his suspension, played well, and there was a fight for Garoppolo to get him to a different roster. And San Francisco needed a quarterback. They made the move, and it was a good trade for New England. They got a 2nd-round pick out of it, and they're going to use that pick to pick up a D back or pick up a defensive lineman or offensive lineman. So they should do well with that pick. We have the opportunity to do the same thing. I think Cooper Rush or Mike White will draw a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I think Awuzie is. I think he's definitely a Pro Bowler. If he stays clean, he stays injury free, he stays out of trouble. That kid, and he doesn't seem like one of those guys that's going to have those issues. But I think Awuzie definitely has the potential to be a Pro Bowler. And I think we're in a great situation. I think we've signed the right guys at the right price. We have money. Like I said in the last video, Seattle does need a quarterback. And I think Mike White or Cooper Rush would fit in there well. And to me, that's our possible big move to get Earl Thomas on the cheap without losing a draft pick. It would be basically, if we trade Mike White, it's a 5th-round draft pick. We're getting a 5th-round draft pick, and we pay Earl Thomas. Or we trade Cooper Rush, who was an undrafted free agent, and we get Earl Thomas. But I think we have the ability, we have the quarterback-friendly offense to make those guys really show out in preseason, and to make them really show out in preseason and make a move for Earl Thomas. I still think that's in the happens, and I still think that's in the works, and it's going to happen. So that was the portion of my video I wanted to get out in the beginning. The main thing is our playmaker, like I was talking about. I only see one player on our team that fits the big-time description of a possible playmaker. As you guys can see, the World Cup going on there in the background. The player I see that has the possibility to be the big playmaker is a player that a lot of us are really hot on. The coaching staff's not. I think possibly is it a gimmick so he's under the radar, or is it a gimmick to push him harder to get him to play better? Is it a gimmick to or is it true? It seems like the coaching staff doesn't care for him. But that's Rico Gathers, and I think Rico Gathers is our one player that on 3rd and 15. I think Rico Gathers is the one player on 1st and 20, 3rd and 15. He can come in, and I know they talk about his blocking, but there are situations. Where we have to have that play. We're not always going to be 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 1. We're going to have those penalties. We're going to have sacks. We're going to have plays where we need someone to miss a tackle, or we need somebody that can in the red zone pull us out when it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and goal from the 12. We need that player. Rico Gathers, I think, he's bigger than Rob Gronkowski. Go back and look at his footage from Baylor. He actually was he's 6'8", 6'7.5" he's listed at 6'8" at Baylor, but he's 6'7.5". Right now he's about 282, so he's actually put on a little weight to help his blocking. So he's bigger than the Cowboys have it listed. That's why I am suspicious about maybe the Cowboys listing him, on the short side and down talking him all the time, because I think he's like a hidden weapon. Not trying to, create drama or say, man, this. But I really think they're kind of trying to hide him until he's ready. I think he's going to have a breakout season. He's a huge target. His stats are actually Rico Gathers has 10 targets. This is in preseason with Cooper Rush. It wasn't with Dak Prescott. With Cooper Rush, he had 10 targets. It's against second team defense. But it's also you got to look. It's with second team offensive linemen blocking for Cooper Rush. It is preseason, end of preseason, and actually it was game 2 and game 3 of preseason, I believe, last year, and he had 10 targets, 7 catches for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bro, those are outstanding numbers. That's a touchdown a game, and that's 50 yards a game, which will put him at about 900 yards for the season, and 7 catches, 716. You're looking at about 90, 95 catches a year. That's crazy. Those are amazing numbers. Yeah, yeah, he caused huge matchup problems, and that's going to help the running game, especially if you have Rico Gathers streaking up the middle, uh, and you run Ezekiel Elliott to that side behind him. It pulls the safeties, it pulls the linebackers, and if Rico Gathers, or excuse me, Ezekiel Elliott gets past the line, he follows Rico Gathers upfield. The dude hustles. He had a fumble recovery. There's a play Rico Gathers had a fumble recovery. He was nowhere near the play. The ball popped loose, and you see Rico Gathers. Everybody else is kind of standing around. Rico Gathers had no reason to be hustling, and he hustled in there and got the fumble. He was about 7 yards away when the ball popped loose, and the other players were 2 to 3 yards away. But he was moving. He was hustling towards the play. For what reason? Because he's a hustler, I guess. Uh, so I see big potential in him. That's who I think our playmaker is going to be. Hearns, I think, has a little potential to be there at times. Also, the other receiver we drafted in the 3rd round. Can't recall the name right now. Sorry, guys. But I know and as far as the tight ends go, we have 3 really, really well taught blocking tight ends. All 3 of the guys that we have besides Rico are blocking tight ends. So why not keep 2 of those guys, place one on the practice squad, and move forward with Rico Gathers. Even if he's your 2nd or 3rd tight end, you're going to need him when we need a big play. So, D-Law, I really am hoping we sign him by tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day we have. Tomorrow's the last day we have to sign D-Law, and I hope we do that. I hope they can get him around, that 15, 16, 17 mil. The thing that will do is it takes off a large portion. Right now, with him signing if he signs a franchise tag tomorrow, that's the final day, or he's under that now. If it rolls through and tomorrow goes by, he stays under the franchise tag. If he stays under the franchise tag, all 17 million of that goes towards the cap this year. If we can make that long-term contract, only about 50% of it goes towards the long-term contract. So that'll automatically give us 7 mil more this year for the cap. And I really think that's a big hint that if we do make that happen, I think that means the Earl Thomas trade is even more possible, because that gives us more cap space for this year. That gives us cap space to even do a 1-year deal with Earl Thomas. I'm hoping we do the long term. 3 to 4 years is long term to me for Earl Thomas. He has dropped off a little, but I think it's because Seattle's offense has dropped off a little, and their offense has put their defense in some bad situations. So don't think that Earl Thomas has dropped off that as much as we say we think he has. He still had much better numbers than any of our current safeties, and he definitely would fit in. And maybe his numbers dropped off, just because of the players around him had Will McClay brought talent to Dallas. Yeah, big time. I'm a big Will McClay fan. I'm also a Stephen Jones fan. I think Stephen Jones has put his dad in check. I think Jerry Jones is not in charge anymore. I think he calls the shots. Don't take it wrong. If he puts his foot down, of course he. But I think he really listens to his son. I think he's enjoying, relaxing, sitting back, watching the games. If you guys watch All or Nothing, he does sit back quite a bit, and he does sit back quite a bit and watch a little more. And of course, still gets upset with bad plays, excited with good plays. But you can tell Stephen Jones, especially in the war room, made the calls. Are either one of you guys interested? Okay. Well, I was going to see if you're interested in calling in. I have a toll free number. It's a Houston number. Call into Kabul if you guys are interested on the next live chat. Um, Also, the please, guys, subscribe to the channel. Well, I'm not sure if you subscribed. I'm going to start putting out videos as much as I can, about average, maybe about 5 a week. So, yeah, Jerry Jones used to be on the sidelines. He's upstairs now. He stayed back. You'll see him on the sidelines after the game. You see him go down to the locker room on a big win or a big loss. But for the most part, it looks like he's keeping his space and letting the guys make their moves. What's your thought, D. Will, on? We're getting a lot of feedback on Jason Garrett. I'm really against his clock management. That's my big thing with Jason Garrett. He uh, he seemed to not be able to manage the clock when our offense is going good. It looks like sometimes we punch it in too quick and give the opposition time to get into field goal position. There's a couple times he's passed the ball, incomplete pass, stopped the clock. Uh, yeah, I think that's the potential. It's possible. What I think will stop Chris Richard from being our new coach actually is I think our team is so good, no matter what Jason Garrett does, maybe we don't win Super Bowls with Jason Garrett there, but I think we still make the playoffs. We go first, second round into the playoffs, and they think, oh, okay, we did better. Let's give Jason Garrett a chance. But I think we have a Super Bowl team right now, and I think Jason Garrett is a weak point at times. I did like on All or Nothing pretty much everything he did. The only thing I didn't like is his interaction with Dak Prescott. Uh, yeah, see, 11-5. You go 11-5, we make the playoffs. How can you fire the coach? I mean, it's kind of tough. So it's a big call. It's tough. What do you do with 11-5? If we do, I think we have the potential to go, 12-4, 13-3 again. I think we're just as good this year as we were in 2016, and I think we're actually better. I think we were almost as good last year. I think the problem last year, of course, was the suspensions, the weak secondary. Church was gone. Wilcox, my boy, I liked was Wilcox. I really liked J.J. Wilcox. And now I watch the old games from 2016, and I miss that guy. He was a big hitter. It's just fun to watch him hit. But Church, um, Wilcox, who else was Carr? Carr wasn't great, but I think those guys were more stable and they worked a little better together because they've been working together. I think our secondary at the end of the year, 2017-18 season that we just passed, end of the year they were awesome, and I think it's because the young guys had time together and they were healthy. If you recall, the beginning of the year, Jordan Lewis had hamstring problems. Awuzie had hamstring problems. Uh, um, it just it was we were injury prone in the beginning, and we didn't have those guys all together until the end of the season. End of the seasons, they played great. You watch the Oakland game; they played outstanding against Oakland. Really, really good defense against those Oakland. Yeah, yeah, it's he's up there. I think Bo Scarborough is a beast. I think he's really going to be good on 3rd and 1. I think he's going to be good on. I think he's going to take some of Ezekiel Elliott's touchdowns away on goal line a little bit, not too much, but I think if he's as strong as he looks, as he's as strong as he appears, he could get some short yardage play. So I'm going to cut it at 20 minutes, D. Will. I'm sorry, bro. I really appreciate it. I hope you subscribe. Again, like I said, when we get this going, I've got my phone number set up. It's toll free to call in. You can call in on the Skype, and yeah, I like Rod Smith too. He looked really, really good. He's got the speed. He's got the size. He had on the breakaway plays he had last year. He broke away and he took it to the house. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't see our weakness. Only our weakness I think is a little bit in our secondary being young. But I think by game 3 or 4, I think the guys are synced. They're meshed. They're working well together, and if we get them in on preseason, maybe they play a little more than normal. I think our secondary will be okay. Uh, but I appreciate you being there, D. Will. Sorry, bro, you're the only one. I really wasn't expecting this, but really, I think the issue is it's lunchtime. Back home, it's lunchtime. Most people are at lunch. If they are at work, if they're not at work, everybody's busy at lunchtime. They're cooking lunch. They're in the kitchen. So I really did this at the bad time, but it is 10:30 p.m. here in Kabul, and it's the best time for me. So I will get the time changed on this, but I will, like if you subscribe, you'll get the notification, and I'll do pre-live videos to post you on the time. But I appreciate the time. Again, we're looking for that playmaker. I hope we find it. I hope Rico Gathers is the one. And I've been pulling for that dude since the draft. And before he even put the star on, before he was a Cowboy, when he was at Baylor, and I found out he was going to try the football thing. I was hoping the Cowboys. I really thought they had a good chance of getting him because he's a hometown guy. You give hometown guys a chance before you give other guys a chance. So he was our last pick in that draft. We didn't get a 7th-round draft pick, so we didn't invest a lot in him. But I think he has potential. He played great. He was a beast in the 2 games he played. So we'll see how it goes. Appreciate it, D. Will. You guys subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. That's the big thing. When I do the lives, I want to do live more than videos. I want to do live because I want to get you guys on here, get our opinions, talk to each other, call in, and share information, share opinions, share news, and stuff like that. So appreciate the time, guys. Cowboy Crunk live from Kabul. I'll be at the embassy tomorrow. I'll be wearing my Jobu t-shirt at the embassy. So you guys take care out there. Stay safe. Love our Cowboys. We got about 2 weeks left and the preseason starts. So from Kabul, peace out, guys. Cowboy love, blue and silver.